This is Plant-Based Briefing, 5 ways to explain to family and friends why my cat or dog is now vegan, from Vecado.ca. And I'm your host, Marian Erickson, and this is the curated content plant-based podcast, where I narrate a variety of articles on plant-based and vegan living, with permission in about 10 minutes or less every weekday. And today's article is from Vecado.ca. They're a plant-based pet food distribution company. Their goal is to enable you to live your values by providing your dog and cat with vegan food that's healthy and has no negative consequences on other animals or the planet. And vegan products can be difficult to find right now and be expensive, so they reduce the cost by importing in large quantities and passing on the savings to their customers. They also do a great job educating people on plant-based nutrition for cats and dogs. And you can find a lot of great resources on their website, Vecado.ca. So now let's get to today's plant-based briefing. 5 ways to explain to family and friends why my cat or dog is now vegan, from Vecado.ca. Explaining to your friends and family that your cat or dog is now vegan is tough. Our family and friends don't have the benefit of seeing the research we've done prior to switching, and they certainly don't see all the pros and cons we've carefully weighed. They simply, quote-unquote, know that cats and dogs need meat. And they're not wrong, since that's the very definition of an obligate carnivore, to hunt prey and eat flesh. They may also think you've gone a little too far with the whole vegan lifestyle and saving animals thing. Others may even start thinking you're downright crazy and call you an animal abuser since you force your beliefs on your poor cat or dog to eat only lettuce, tomatoes, and cucumbers. So how do you explain to your family and friends that you are not some crazy vegan abusing your cat or dog by switching them to a vegan diet? In this post, we'll try to equip pet guardians with tools to help answer those tough questions. Once you get familiar with these, it will be like answering the, "But where do you get your protein?" question. But instead, it's, "But where do they get their taurine?" Without further ado, let's dive into it. Your first line of defense is to help people understand that vegan does not mean just lettuce, tomatoes, and cucumbers. That would definitely be wrong and lead cats to lose their eyesight and damage their heart function. On the contrary, modern vegan formulas are made with oats, corn, soy, sunflower seeds, pea protein, and supplemented with vitamins and minerals. Furthermore, vegan formulas contain just as much protein or more as the meat-based counterparts. A properly balanced vegan diet provides the proteins, the correct amino acids, including taurine, the fats and nutrients cats and dogs require to thrive. People who create these specialized diets are nutritional professionals with PhDs and with a great deal of understanding of cat and dog nutritional requirements. So a vegan formula is definitely not a salad mix. Rather, it is a sophisticated formulation tailored for cats and dogs' needs. Second, cats and dogs require specific nutrients and not specific ingredients. Animals, including cats, require specific nutrients such as amino acids, building blocks of proteins, fats, vitamins, and minerals, and not specific ingredients such as fish or meat. So when they're provided with the required nutrients, they're healthy, and it does not matter from which ingredient those nutrients come. Veterinarian Dr. Armadi May said it nicely in this short video linked here. This is exactly why the regulatory bodies that govern pet food standards, like the AAFCO and the FED-IAF, define pet food requirements based on nutrients and not on specific ingredients. They never say use 100 grams of beef or liver. Instead, they say cats, for example, require X% of protein composed of A, B, and C type of amino acids. Third, there are veterinarians knowledgeable in plant-based nutrition that support properly balanced vegan diets, emphasis on properly balanced. Dr. Andrew Knight, Dr. Sarah Dodd, Dr. Armadi May, and Dr. Pitcairn, just to mention some reputable names. Fourth, there is research on vegan pet food showing that properly balanced vegan diets work. Veterinarian Dr. Andrew Knight talked about a study in this video linked here. There is a recent longevity study suggesting that cats live just as long on a vegan diet as on a meat-based diet. And here are a few more studies which you could mention and share, all linked below. Vegetarian versus meat-based diets for companion animals, vegan nutrition of dogs and cats, and evaluation of cats fed vegetarian diets and attitudes of their caregivers. Fifth, in many taste trials, cats have actually chosen the taste of a vegan formula over the taste of dead and cooked carcasses in a meat-based formula. Here's an example video linked here where a cat prefers a vegan formula over a meat-based formula. And finally, cats and dogs derive significant benefits from vegan diets: better, shinier fur, less fatigue and more energy, avoiding common allergens, avoiding toxin accumulation. See the study Polluted Pets from the Environmental Working Group linked here. And a significantly lower chance of poisoning from bad or quality meats, and many more. Some of your friends may say that you're forcing your morality on your cat or dog. They may say it's not natural for cats or dogs to be vegan. The question of what is natural and what is not natural can be subjective. For example, prior to the invention of dry kibble in the 1930s, dry pet food was deemed unnatural because in nature animals eat flesh containing 70 to 75% moisture, whereas dry kibble only contains 10% moisture. Now fast forward 90 years and almost no one gives dry kibble a second thought, accepting it as a perfectly normal variety of dog food, granted that it contains the required nutrients and the cat and dog stays healthy. Similarly, in the past, vaccination and neutering or castration of dogs and cats was not common. It was deemed unnatural to vaccinate and to neuter cats and dogs. However, over time, for one reason or another, it became a societal norm to carry out these procedures. Vecado does not advocate for any of these procedures. Instead, we're making a point that the norm is established by a society and not necessarily by what would be in the best interest of cats and dogs. And what is natural or not natural, much like in the example of dry kibble in the 30s, is highly subjective and depends on societal acceptance. So we propose to shift the subject from natural or unnatural rhetoric to what would be beneficial to cats and dogs. And as veterinarians, studies, and real-life cases demonstrate, a properly balanced plant-based pet food provides cats and dogs with all the nutrients they require to thrive, and there is zero harm to our companion animals from vegan diets. There are situations when a vegan diet is not advisable, for example, male cats with a history of urinary stones, but keep in mind those cases are exceptions rather than the rule. The majority of cats and dogs thrive on a properly balanced plant-powered diet. Your vegan friends may appreciate you pointing out that other animals don't have to be killed to become food for cats and dogs. Over their lifetime, a cat eats about 500 chickens or other farm animals. But with a properly balanced plant-based diet, 0 chickens are killed for food. Meanwhile, the cat or dog lives a long, healthy life. Help your vegan friends realize that their household can be 100% vegan, no meat at all, and no health expense to their cats or dogs. Your environmentalist friends already know that the meat and poultry industry has a devastating effect on the planet and on the future of our kids. By purchasing meat-based products for our pets, we are subsidizing the destruction. But for what? Our cats and dogs can thrive on a balanced plant-based diet. They're healthy, they like the flavor, they live just as long, and therefore it makes no environmental sense to buy meat-based pet food. There are cases when a plant-based diet is not suitable. For example, again, male cats with a history of urinary crystals or stones. But even in those cases, vegan diets can work by utilizing proper acidifiers. Veterinarians are able to recommend the right course of action for even such tough cases. Lastly, there are now thousands of thriving vegan cats and even more vegan dogs. Vegan pet food has been around for 30 years, and multiple generations of cats and dogs have been raised on a vegan diet. We hope that this post provides you with some useful explanations which you can share with your friends and family. But if none of these are at least somewhat convincing to them, then we don't know what can be. You might as well accept being called that crazy vegan person. You just listened to 5 ways to explain to family and friends why my cat or dog is now vegan from Vecado.ca. And I've done a number of episodes on plant-based cat and dog food. If you search wherever you listen to this podcast, put cat or dog in the search field, they'll come up. And our cat and 2 dogs have been on properly formulated vegan diets for about 1.5 years now, I think. They're super healthy and they love their food. So hopefully this message gets out to more and more people, and please share it with someone you know who might benefit, and thanks for listening.